Hey everyone. Um, so let's talk about mental health. Um, Mental health, people who has it, who doesn't, I think they do, but it just depends on how they're behaving. What I'm trying to say, people can't diagnose if you have mental illness. You don't know what they have or what they're going through. So you can't diagnose. Obviously, you're not a psychiatrist or a therapist. Those two are only professionals that can't diagnose. What it's like to have a therapist or a psychiatrist, and are everybody like the first one? Because sometimes they transfer to the other one because for whatever reason. So why people like the first therapist or the second one, or psychiatrist, the first one or the second one? Well, everybody's different. When people have the first therapy or therapist, or a psychiatrist, the first one, maybe they don't like them. That's one of the reasons. Because maybe they don't know what they're saying or talking about, or what they think they have, but they really don't. Or they just don't listen. Or they don't care. They just like blah 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 blah. So, so from my experience, I had, how many psychiatrists I have? I'm on my fourth psychiatrist. My first one, I hated her. I didn't like her because I can't really say it, but I just don't like her because the way she does things, and also she doesn't understand deaf culture and all these things, or what I'm going through, because she doesn't realize that deaf people, they're isolated, they're lonely, or sometimes they can be abused by some certain people. It just depends. And on my therapist, I'm on my second one. My first one was her self-hearing. And she left, but she already had left after I transferred to my other therapist. My first one, I had to sign there was an interpreter with me, so translate. And she was just trying to understand what my thoughts, what I'm going through and all this. And then later, like maybe after a year and a half, maybe, I transferred to other therapist, and she's the therapist who knows sign language, that's one. Second, she is aware of the deaf culture, sign language, and all this stuff, what in the deaf community of their own mental health. If you're wondering what most common mental health in the deaf community is, number one is suppression. So, yeah. And there's a lot of different reasons why people have suppression. It's a lot of reasons. So, well, I'm not going to go into any details. If you're curious, you can ask me, and maybe I'll do this on my next vlog. So, and then the other reason why people don't like their therapist or don't like to change, because either the therapist or psychiatrist have left for other job or retirement or whatever. Or the client themselves, the patient, have moved themselves, so they have to look for somebody else for a right therapist or psychiatrist. So when people have a therapy or they go see their psychiatrist, it's okay for a change, and I promise you, you will get used to it. And maybe you will like this person too. And at first, I wasn't okay for a change at first. And then later, I asked my first therapist if we can meet with my new therapist together. And she doesn't mind. So she did ask that therapist if we could have a group, like a team. They're only on the same team, like it's called Team C. Like they have different teams, like groups. So they call it Team A, Team B, Team C, or whatever. They're varieties. But mine is Team C. And then we all met, and noticed that I liked her. So I said, I would like to transfer you and have you as my clinician, my therapist. So that's my story. And my psychiatrist, my first one I didn't like her, and I'm glad they transferred me to a new one because she left. And then she left, I had another one. And then she moved to Washington, I believe. And then I have her this one. And finally somebody diagnosed me correctly. Because I was diagnosed with something else. I can't remember what it was. But I finally got diagnosed last April of 2019. After 3 years trying to figure out what I have. So, if you want to know what I have borderline personality disorder, PPD. So, enjoy and thanks for watching.